Angel Collect. It's now 9:16 a.m. Uh, First, a swipe on the dailies. Today in the morning, we go to the Daily Nation. The splash says on the headlines, after record taxes, state eyes fees, fines. And on the lower part of the Daily Nation, we have El Nino bodies of KRA staffers recovered amid flooding havoc. Then on the right, Uhuru to Ruto, leave me out of your mess. Let us go to the Standard Group. The Standard says Ruto scores on terror but fails in graft war. On the lower part, you'll form next government, Uhuru tells Azimio leaders. Next, on the Star, make or break as Ruto Raila talks enter final stretch. Then don't blame me for economic failures, Uhuru tells Ruto. And finally, the People Daily, stop blame game, Uhuru demands. Interesting headlines there. Before we even go to those headlines, we want to apologize to our viewers. On Friday, we were not able to make it because of technicalities here and there, but we are here now. I just want us to do a recap of what happened last week. Last week, Raila Amolo Odinga, the opposition leader and party leader of ODM, released a dossier that he promised he would on the government deal, the oil 17 billion fuel saga. And we had culprits, people like Anne Jerry. Anne Jerry is in the middle of that high profile 17 billion oil consignment, which is held at the port. And so Raila exposed the dossier and said that there was massive corruption embroiled in that consignment. He cited the fact that the government officials were responsible for the corruption that was going on. And he also said that the many things Raila said. He talked about the taxman, the KRA, that they were devoiding the compliance status of the 3 oil companies that were involved in that government oil business. And he was very keen to say that is the reason why you'll find that the Ugandans are stepping out of the oil business in Kenya and choosing to buy oil from Tanzania. Then, yesterday, President Ruto responded to the dossier. He responds to Raila over the government-to-government oil deals. And he basically said that what Raila said is baseless and inconsequential. And he said that the reason why he was emphasizing on the deal was it was necessary to ease the pressure on the dollar. And I quote verbatim, he said, the international oil companies sell fuel directly to oil marketers in Kenya. And the government of Kenya is not a broker. The entire process is private sector driven. So the business as a government is to underwrite that this transaction will not go haywire. And he also emphasized that the opposition leaders who are doing a fishing expedition to look for corruption inside that deal, that they will not find anything. For the government-to-government deal with Saudi Arabia was conducted openly and transparently, contrary to claims raised by Raila. He accused the Ruto-led regime of using it to foster corruption. And so going further, President Ruto emphasized this move was needed was important to ease the pressure on the dollar, and he argued that there is need to purchase oil via the Kenya shilling in a government to government approach. So these are interesting things, and also at the same time, when you look at the same story, Anjeri, whom also Raila named as one of the culprits in the deal, we also came to find out so much about her. Little is known about her. Can you imagine? Even the mother doesn't know that she's a billionaire.
That was I think Kenya should be saa zingine they say that living in Kenya is an interesting stuff, because some things happen and then you question how. You see, as much as maybe you can keep your financial status private, but being a billionaire, it's difficult to keep private, or especially. I may sound naweza sound like I'm nabagua, but being a woman and then but of course wanawake wanajua how to feature their status, maybe financial situation. Unapata especially during marriage, unapata a woman has some plots outside there, and the husband is maybe is a casual worker. Now a woman basically may be a millionaire, and then the husband is not a millionaire, and then maybe we may realize later. We have found a situation where by a man stays rents a house owned by his woman, and he doesn't know, so he always pays the the rent to the wife na juangi. So but to maybe feature your status, financial status to other people is understandable, but your mother, how can you explain that?
Depends. There are those who are not privy to tell their parents simply because they have a big mouth, and their parents who are very discreet. So it depends on what kind of parents you have as well, and what kind of family you have. So before it's her business though.
Yeah, before we proceed,
really
we have Silas Mukumo, Wansema watching from USA, and then we have Magkosi watching from Dubai. Thank you very much for those tuning in to the broadcast. You can give us your view and comment of what you think about what happened yesterday. We saw the way Ninja has explained, we saw a series of happenings from last week about the dossier, about the oil issue, and about Uhuru responding to Ruto. You can give us what you think about those those happenings. So I think as we proceed, we'll play Raila, part of Raila's speech, trying to explain to Kenyans maybe how he thinks Ruto is stealing money from Kenyans.
Interesting thoughts there, Raila.
We are fixing on that shortly, and then we play it so that you get what he was talking about direct, and yeah, you understand live. So in the meantime, what do you think about what Uhuru told Ruto yesterday?
It's been a while since Uhuru spoke to the sentiments that has been spread by the government in terms of the issues and the economy and the governance of President Ruto. So basically, we've had, ever since the Kenya Kwanza government got into power, they've always been playing the blame card. Blame Uhuru's regime. Oh, the economy is in a dilapidated state. Blame Uhuru's government. This and this is happening. Blame Uhuru's government. And something that is very, very nerve-wracking is that Deputy Gachagua keeps on blaming Uhuru. Now that the opposition right now is very, very vigilant on what Ruto is doing, Deputy Rigathi Gachagua keeps on saying, na hao watu walikuwa wananyamaza wakati kulikuwa na handshake government. Sasa saa hii ndio wanajifanya ati hao ndio wanataka ku put checks and balances on this government. I mean, like I always said, I appreciate Deputy Rigathi Gachagua's honest sentiments, but to be real, I mean, they are now in government and they promise that they are going to deliver their services to Kenyans. Yeah. And it's been 1 year and people are grappling with issues, matters, cost of living, the cost of fuel, cost of energy. Seriously, I think he needs to work on his wordings and how he responds to the common wananchi, because we are his employers. We are the people who employed him. We as Kenyans are the people who voted this government into power. And so as a result of doing that, we did not vote this government into power to make such baseless words and start talking carelessly. They're supposed to just get down to work and deliver the services that they gave to people. And so I think former president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, it's been a while since he's been on the front lines in matters to do with government, because right now he's a retired president. So much has been spoken. He's been insulted. He's been called names. He's been, there's so much accusation against this guy. And, well, he just acted a fool and started, making smart remarks, if you will. And he said, on a light note, sasa kuna mtu hapa who is blaming me for his woes or government failures. Don't blame me for issues. I'm no longer in government. You're now the one who's in government. Do what you're supposed to do. I think the way he even spoke about it, you could hear in the background people were just laughing. It was like he did it in a hilarious manner. Like, why would you as a president still blame me? Why would you, as the Kwanza government, you have been in the government for a whole year. You're supposed to provide solutions for the predicaments that are prevailing in the country, but you're still 1 year you're still mentioning my name. Why? Leave my name.
we have Douglas Masinde anasema Uhuru is ever drunk, speaking in the influence of alcohol and bang. Yeah, that's
interesting.
That's
there was
it
was there. You could see actually it was just he was beside himself.
Before we proceed, let's hear what Raila had to say about that expose. I was saying like how Ruto is stealing 30 shillings per liter of petrol or per oil products in Kenya.
Kwanza tuliambiwa ati hii mpango ni serikali na kwa serikali. Yani ndio kwa kizungu inaitwa G2G, government to government. Lakini thibitisho iko hapa ya kwamba sio mpango ya serikali kwa serikali. Serikali ya Kenya hajaweka mkataba na serikali ya Saudi Arabia au ya Emirates. Hii ni kati ya wizara ya kawi, yani ya wa Kenya, na makampuni moja ya Emirates na ingine ya kule Saudia moja inaitwa Aramco. Alafu sasa wao hapa makampuni mengine matatu wamepewa kandarasi. Hakuna mtu anajua vile hizo kandarasi lipewa. Manake zamani kulikuwa na kitu ambacho inaitwa open tender system. Mimi kama waziri wa kawi wakati ingine, na chini yangu tulikuwa tunafanya makampuni yote ya kuuza mafuta walikuwa wanakubaliwa kushiriki kwenye tenda, kufanya tenda, alafu unachukua yule ambaye kuna bei ya chini zaidi. Sasa hiyo kampuni ndio inapewa ruhusa ya kwenda kuleta mafuta na kuwauzia wale makampuni zingine hapa. Ikifika tena baada ya miezi mitatu, hiyo tenda ingine inafanyika namna hiyo. Lakini sasa hiyo sasa imetolewa. Sasa serikali ndio inanunua kutoka katika hizo makampuni mawili ya Saudia na ya Emirates, alafu inakuja kuuzia watu hapa. Lakini hata hakuna ubaya na hiyo. Kinafanyika ni kwamba katikati hapo wameweka vikwazo zingine, alafu ujanja zingine hapo ambayo wanazidisha naye bei. Kwa hivyo bei inakuwa juu zaidi kuliko kama ingekuwa inakuja under ile OTS system. Na hiyo bei yote inapitishwa kwa mwananchi. Mwananchi huko chini inabeba hiyo mzigo. Kwa sababu ya yote pale ambayo yao jamaa wanakula hapo katikati, hapa kuna hii panya ambayo inakula hapo katikati, hiyo ndio inasukumwa kwa wananchi hapa. Na kwa kila lita ambayo unanunua kuna shilingi 30 ambayo imewekwa zaidi juu yake. Na hiyo inakuliwa na hao watu katikati hao. Ndio tumemwambia Bwana Ruto, utuambie sisi hao watu ni kina nani? Na kwa hiyo unawajua, wewe ndio uliwaweka pale. Kwa sababu gani umeweka hao pale? Wananchi wanaumia hapa chini.
Na swali Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga. Jina langu ni Sydney Chazi.
That has been Raila Odinga about exposing how Ruto and his government is stealing from Kenyans. And yesterday we had the energy CS there at Sotik being heckled by the Bomet residents. So I don't know what to think about that, Ninja.
Please shed some light on that.
Does it mean yesterday President Ruto and his entourage were attended an interdenominational Thanksgiving service in Sotik, and of course in his company he had various leaders from Rift Valley, and that among them was Energy CS Davis Chirchir, and he was having when he was introduced by the governor to speak to the people, he had a time being listened to. So I think after that it became evidence that maybe there were some promises he made to the locals about issues to do with electricity, and he didn't deliver. So maybe the Sotik residents didn't have any other means to deliver their pleas to the Energy CS, and so they had to lay that anger during that moment of his speech. I think we can listen to that moment, and then so that you get the full context. And then after that, President Ruto reacted to the same. Maybe, and then after he addressed that issue, it became clear that there was an issue. Maybe there was a promise he made to the people about delivering electricity to the county, and he failed to do that. I think we are just a bit.
Imiga en Sotik ko kaya nane ko kaya ko mwa chi gole magitaro gutich chia ko numbunen ko en alegap sitimogi ke amun gi gone gasinoton ko kimwa ko ngoi en message nebo kanisa, message nebo kaliet ko ngoi en kaliet nekitingenge en Sotik ko ngoi missing.
Okay. Yeah, that was what happened. And then after that, President Ruto shedded light to what actually was behind the heckling. And there we saw President Ruto trying to calm the people and trying to plead with them, maybe to bear with them, and then that he'll be able to solve the issues that were happening to maybe to the residents, to calm them down on that issue of electricity. So in the meantime, on the comment section there, we have some few comments. We have Kariuki Karanja and Sema Ruto is the president, take it or leave it. Yeah, we accept that. We have Kariuki Karanja still. Yeah, thank you for your comment and for your feedback. You can, if you are watching us on Facebook and you're not a follow on Facebook, please follow us on Facebook, Lightcast TV Kenya. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Lightcast TV Kenya. Yeah, and for daily updates on politics and breaking news.
Kwa mfano hapa Bomet mambo ya stima, na mimi naona mnapigia kelele waziri wangu Davis, mnasema hajawapanga na stima. Wacha niwaambie story, si ndio? Sasa hiyo maneno ya stima hapa Bomet, watu 50% ya Bomet, 81,150 people tumewawekea stima. Sasa ile imebaki hiyo 50% ingine, mimi naelewa na nitapanga, na huyu Davis amesikia vile mmesema mawagase ange na le gor waji ole katenyi gizi jero ko omuite kidogo ige ogere Davis ni nga ogere kuya meje koleni ngatip chiji omuite kidogo sawa sawa.
Well, I think Kenyans are really woke. That's his backyard. So it means that being the CS and being in the government, then he was supposed to do something first at his home in regards to energy, but he didn't do anything. So it seems like the people are not happy. Right now, as we speak, the energy, electricity bills is off the hook, off the roof. Even a token, putting a token per month right now, there are those who are paying through their nose. And so the people are not happy. It just shows you that CS Chirchir has left a lot to be desired in matters energy. And also when you look at the president coming to the forefront, trying to, quell the all those noise that he's had as a result of CS Chirchir standing up, he's trying to explain to the people what is happening. I think that was CS's docket. He is the one who is supposed to tell the people what is happening, because that was where he was put to ensure that things are actually working. But why would the president try and cover that? Okay, yes, that is his employee, that is CS Chirchir. Maybe he is trying to create some sort of enabling environment for them to talk, but people are not happy on the ground, and that is just a tip of the iceberg. I think they need to pull their socks. They need to stop talking too much talk. I think there's just too much talk, too much promising, because we hear still President Ruto saying hapo nitashughulikia, nitafanya. He's giving numbers. He's very good at, by the way, have you noticed that Ruto is very good at giving numbers? And why don't those numbers reflect on the ground? Listen, viewers, we are not against President Ruto, because President Ruto, when he fails, the government fails, the country fails. We want the president to succeed. But from what we've seen, the people are not happy. People are demanding results. For example, when you're employed, for those of you who are employed in a company, you're expected to give your KPIs. You're supposed to give reports. You're supposed to show results if you're in the marketing department. If you're maybe selling products outside, you're supposed to show results. Yes? Now the government has been at work for 1 year. The only thing that we can see, as for me, it's only matters to do with agriculture in terms of fertilizer, but it's not holistic. Yes, there may be so many good things that the government is trying to do, but the priorities that they're supposed to stick to, so that the people on the ground, they're supposed to please the people on the ground to ease the heavy cost of living that people are complaining about. So we wish Ruto and his government well, but still they need to be pulled back into the line so that they can do what is required.
So on the matter of still of energy and Kenya Power, in the recent week we saw there was an issue still with the electricity. Electricity went over. I think there was a nationwide blackout for like 3 hours, and then the government. You see, I think every time the electricity goes out, like in the whole country, there is always no clear explanations to what happened. There was a time, you remember that time when there was a nationwide blackout for almost 6 hours, and the Kenya Power came and put blame on some people, on some organization, and then that organization defended themselves, saying that they are not involved in that blackout, and then they put another. You see, there's a lot of blame game from different departments of the government. I think if the government should take responsibility and maybe say that we admit that this was the problem that came on our side. You see, the solution always comes when someone takes responsibility. So when you take responsibility, you see, it's like you're putting yourself on spot in front of Kenyans, and you're telling Kenyans that this will work on it such that it will not happen next. But we saw it happened about a week ago. It happened, and actually the same thing continued. And then we saw even the JKIA, there was a blackout for around 20 minutes. But what did we see? Transport CS say? Transport CS said that he actually put blame on Uhuru Kenyatta, and then still there was on the ongoing issue with rains and everything. There was a leakage at the airport, and they said that the previous people that Uhuru Kenyatta gave the contract maybe to build not a particular that area. He said that actually still forwarded the blame to Uhuru Kenyatta. So that tells you that maybe in some way or another this government is not taking responsibility. You see, taking responsibility means that don't live in the past. Admit that maybe there is an issue from our side and we are working on it. I think it's good if you admit some things, and you see, admission comes from when you admit on something, you'll have that energy and that zeal to change it and to work on it. And on the comment section, we have some few comments. We have a comment from Alan Kibet and Sema Kenya needs a true leader. Yeah, that's true. And then we have Jared Ayera and Sema, please read the book of Proverbs 29 verse 2. Talks more about Ruto, Gachagua, Moses Kuria, Kimani Chungwa, Wetangula and Mudavadi. Also in the book of Luke 3:14, it warns police officers and gives them direction to follow. Watching live from Washington, D.C., States of America. Thank you very much, Jared, for watching and for your comment. So I think when someone takes responsibility, says that, yes, I'm the one to blame. Stop putting. You see, it has been almost over 1 year in office. They have been in office for over 1 year, so you cannot still say that nani alifanya hivi, nani alifanya hivi, ndio kuna hivi. They say that most of Kenyans are saying that you are mko hapo, try and make a difference. Right now, Kenyans, I think the only difference that President Ruto is making right now is increasing taxes. I think that's the big difference that people are noticing, and it's affecting people directly, and it's not giving them. You see, they are just increasing taxes. There was still another revelation by the Nation. They say that they were planning that the government is still planning to increase taxes on some stuff. We can see on that on the front page of the Daily Nation. They're saying that after record taxes, state eyes fees, fines. And then there they say President Ruto administration has now turned its focus on fees and fines paid to state agencies for various services, as the government targets an additional 112 billion shillings in non-tax revenue to supplement tax revenues in the current financial year. And the government experts expects the various states departments to collect a record 431 billion shillings in appropriate in-aid or fees and fines levies this year, explaining the desperate adjustments on charges for various services offered by the state. So I think the difference that President Ruto has made so far, of which he has not blamed, actually I think the blame so far, he has not blamed President Uhuru for like charging people, not taxing people on some other stuff. And I saw some videos saying that President Ruto saying that the purpose of him like increasing the taxes was like trying to reduce the loans or the debts we are owing to the international organizations. But last week we saw there was a loan that the IMF gave the government. And then yesterday, President Ruto announced that this week there will be another loan that the Kenya government will be receiving. So and then on the comment section, I saw Kenyans being concerned. They do not understand how comes you say that you are trying to you are overtaxing people so that we be able to pay our loans on time. You understand? So there's this trend that they're saying that it may take us around 42 years or over 40 years to pay the debts that we are owing international organizations. So the strategy that President Ruto is making is to reduce that tax to around 20 years. So and then people are not understanding the balancing. You see even in high school there was that balancing of balancing sheets, so that so people are not understanding why, if you are saying that you are trying to, you don't want to borrow and you're overtaxing people are asking themselves, why are you still overtaxing people and still borrowing? What do you say?
That is very, very interesting conversation, interesting thoughts there. Well, I think that the fact that President Ruto has received another loan from IMF, and yet he was trying to offset the other loans that we've heard. It's just very, very interesting because he's trying to increase the government fees and fines, and at the same time he's also increasing the taxes, not thinking at the back of his mind that the people who are paying taxes are actually suffering. Right now, there are so many people who are in the bottom of the economic pyramid who are crying out to the president to try and think about how they're making their livelihoods. You know, the purpose of the government is to create an enabling environment for the people to be able to thrive, to be able to do their businesses, to be able to, get a way to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in terms of infrastructure, they're supposed to create infrastructure. They're supposed to, just create that enabling environment. They also said that they are going to provide Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
And still, the people are complaining. Things like energy, they're supposed to, lower the cost of energy, lower the cost of living, ensure that the dollar, the shilling has been stabilized. Right now, the shilling is weakening, and they're still borrowing money from IMF. So that means that the IMF is actually creating policies to govern this country. So if you owe somebody money and you owe that person, that means you're a slave to that person.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sure.
you're a slave to that person, and what he says goes. So if IMF comes up with a certain policy that favors them, then actually they will talk to the government, and the government will have to abide to that. But what does the government, the arms, what are they saying about that? What is the parliament saying about that? What is the Senate saying about that? These are the legislatures, and they need to ask hard questions about what the government is doing currently, because what President Ruto is supposed to do is actually increase the tax base for the people to be able to make money. So out of making that money, they're supposed to increase the tax revenue, create an enabling environment for that mama mboga to access loans, to access finance, for SMEs to be able to access funds, to access capital, to be able to expand their businesses so that they can be in a capacity to pay the tax that the government is asking for. Sasa mtu akona just a kibanda, mama mboga. From the time the government came in up to now, still mama mboga analia. Sasa you want to charge us this amount of tax every day. Now, the tax, the revenue has not increased. How are we supposed now to pay that tax? So you see, it doesn't really make sense to me. It doesn't really make sense. So I think the government should go back to the drawing board. The government should, exploit other avenues or ways in which they can think about the common mwananchi, think about the Kenyan who is actually paying that tax, to increase that revenue for him, so that he may be in a capacity to be able to pay the tax that they want. They had increased from 8% to 16%. Surely the cost of fuel is not making things any better, and hence why the CS of energy, Chir, was heckled back at his home. The Sotik residents are actually giving us reports that the reason why they heckled the CS Chir, it was as a result of frequent power blackouts. Frequent power blackouts, like you have just explained back. And so people are not actually happy with what the CS is doing. Do you think that President Ruto needs to do another reshuffle? Because the people that he has actually appointed to do these works in the government, it just leaves a lot to be desired. But hey, it's still 1 year. They have 4 years to go. So let's see how it goes.
So in the comment section, we have Lame Kimaru is saying, so if he does not increase tax, what other interventions do you have? Kenyan newspapers are selling propaganda all day long. Still, we have Lame Kimaru saying we cannot live beyond our means. That's fact. That's a fact. Of course, that's true. Still, we have Mori. We have Mori Mabirian saying 98% of the loans we are paying right now were borrowed by Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. I'm glad Raila is not involved this time round. We still have Lame Kimaru saying William Ruto is doing long term. Despite geopolitics implications, he's looking for sustainable solutions. The future is bright. Yeah. Still on that, yesterday, yesterday, President Ruto said that he said he actually on issue with to do with the loans, he said that he'll not continue borrowing loans to please some people. I think he was responding to Azimio on him borrowing the loans. We say that he'll not continue borrowing the loans so that to please some other people in the government. So I think we can listen into his part of his speech while responding to Raila Odinga's dossier and responding and dossier and the issue to do with the taxes and his speech yesterday in Sotik during a church service. Yeah, if you're watching us, thank you for those who are commenting and giving the opinions on what we are discussing about. And if you're watching us, you are not a subscriber on YouTube, please subscribe us to our YouTube channel, Lightcast TV Kenya. And if you're not our follower on Facebook, please follow our Facebook page, Lightcast TV Kenya. You can share our videos so that we may be able to reach many people outside in Kenya and outside Kenya. Yeah, we will listen to part of his speech shortly, and you can tell us what you think. Do you have any other comment in the meantime? Yeah, we don't have. So thank you very much for being our viewer. So while the video is preparing, I think the way that you have said about the issue to do with the reshuffle, I don't think the solution here comes from reshuffling, because they are saying that reshuffling means that you are removing one incompetence and placing from a particular department na unaweka kwa kwingine. So I think the issue here, I think President Ruto needs to come out straight and stop rewarding political friends. You understand? The way he said some time back, he should just go face the issue head on, and maybe he needs to sack some incompetent workers in the government, because you see, removing one CS to another department isn't working according to me, and he should stop. He should employ technocrats so that they may be able to work as CSS and PSS in the government, and he should stop rewarding politicians for those positions.
Viongozi wa sehemu mbalimbali. Mimi nikitoka Kenya, mimi siendi kazi ya utalii. Mimi naenda kazi ya wananchi wa Kenya, kwa sababu najua nimechaguliwa kwa kazi gani. So mimi nataka niwaulize, hawa viongozi watafanya kazi yao. Tupange vile governor amesema hapa Bomet tunachenga County Aggregation and Industrial Park. Hapa Sotik. Hapa tunaweka shilingi milioni 500. Na hapa tutaweka common user facilities ya Kericho ambaye ni city yetu sisi wote hapa, na vile vile kuweka hospitali ya kisasa la Kenya. Na nawauliza viongozi wote, tukubaliane vile tutasonga mbele kama taifa. Mumesema kwa mfano hapa Bomet mambo ya stima, na mimi naona mnapigia kelele waziri wangu Davis, mnasema hajawapanga na stima. Wacha niwaambie story, si ndio? Sasa hiyo maneno ya stima hapa Bomet, watu 50% ya Bomet, 81,150 people tumewawekea stima. Sasa ile imebaki hiyo 50% ingine, mimi naelewa na nitapanga, na huyu Davis amesikia vile mmesema. Mawagase ange na legor waji ole katenyigisi Jerob ko omwite kidogo. Nataka niwahakikishie wa Kenya, vile nilisema jana, maneno ya mafuta katika taifa letu la Kenya ni vizuri nieleze watu wa Kenya, tuache siasa duni na porojo ndogo ndogo. Wale watu wanajaribu kutueleza ati they are telling us we must prove that this transaction between Kenya and the international oil companies is above board. I want to tell them without fear of any contradiction, na niwaangalie kwa macho, wacheni uongo, wacheni rumors, wacheni speculation, semeni ukweli. Hapa Kenya, wakati mimi nimechaguliwa kama rais, watu walikuwa napiga mlolongo kwa petrol station, hakukuwa hata na mafuta. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Si watu walikuwa wanahangaika kupiga foleni, unaenda petrol station hii hakuna mafuta, unaenda hiyo ingine hakuna mafuta. Kampuni zote, karibu kampuni 100 za mafuta za Kenya zilikuwa zimefungwa kwa sababu hawakuwa na uwezo ya kutafuta madola. Hiyo transaction tumefanya imesort out mambo matatu. Ya kwanza, imesort out matatizo ya supply. Sasa hakuna petrol station yenye haina mafuta, number 1. Number 2, imesort out problem ya madola. Walikuwa wanahangaika kampuni kutafuta dola kutoka benki hii ati benki hii ati benki ile, kwa sababu hakukuwa na mpango ya sawasawa. Serikali ya Kenya tumefanya MOU ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba tunaweza kununua mafuta, kampuni zetu ziweze kununua kwa pesa ya Kenya badala ya kutafuta madola. Today, all oil companies, oil marketing companies in Kenya, they buy fuel, they buy petroleum products in Kenya shillings. Something that never happened and was never imagined. Na jambo la tatu ni kwamba ile transaction tumefanya na Saudia na UAE, leo watu ya Uganda, watu ya Tanzania, watu wa Rwanda ndio wanaenda kutafuta ile sisi tayari tuko naye, because our transaction was the best. Every country today is looking for the transaction similar to the one that we have. So we are above board, and I want to say, kama unataka kujua, I want to challenge our competitors. I want to challenge the opposition. Watuambie, badala ya kutuambia we must prove that it is a scam, let them prove to us that it is a scam. Sio kama tunaelewana. Let them prove to us. Waende kwa oil marketing companies ya Kenya. Oil marketers wenyewe wamemwambia mtu ya kitendawili akome kusema uongo. Oil marketers, the players, the stakeholders in the petroleum product industry themselves have confirmed that what we have done is the best for Kenya, is the best for every citizen, and is the best for all the stakeholders. Mimi naendesha serikali yenye iko na uwazi. Hizo contracts zote, they are available, ziko bunge tayari. Wacheni kutuadaa ati mnataka tuwapatie contracts. Contract iko public. There is no secret contract anywhere. Contract iko public, iko bunge. Wabunge wote wako huko. Wabunge ya serikali wako ndani ya bunge, wabunge wa upinzani wako ndani ya bunge. Waende waangalie hizo contracts na wainterrogate, watajua sisi we are running an administration that is above board and that looks for the best interest of the Republic of Kenya. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie ndugu zangu ya kwamba haya mambo tunayafanya pole pole. We are turning the corner and Kenya is going to go places. Kwa hivyo msikuwe na wasiwasi, tuko imara na Kenya tutaibadilisha. Mimi nataka niwashukuru maaskofu wetu.
Back and forth, the back and forth, the back and forth. Ruto says this, Raila that. Ruto says this, Raila that. This is very interesting. So we've just heard that Ruto says that the government-to-government deal on oil buying oil from UAE and Saudi. It's way above board. And the transactions, actually, they are open and transparent. There is nothing that is hidden. So it is up to the common wananchi now to go and poke holes on those documents, those transactions. They're actually in parliament. So let's see what parliament will have to say about that. But referring to Raila's dossier, there's so much that leaves it to be desired. So I think there needs to be more interrogation of this government to government deal, because according to Raila Molo Odinga, when he was in government, what they used to do was to have a meeting with the oil companies on the ground in Kenya, and they would pick up the oil company that has the lowest price that is tendering, and that oil company would actually do the bidding and buy the oil for the country. But now this government deal, still we need to learn more about how this deal operates. Ruto has said that last year or the previous regime there was a problem. People were actually, according to vile alikuwa anasema, walikuwa wanapiga foleni, they were lining up to buy oil. But so that, according to him, he said that to prevent such things from happening in his government, then he's decided to go the government to government way to ensure that the prices are stabilized, the shilling is made strong again, and just to ensure that there is oil in each and every oil station in the country. So I think that maybe we should interrogate this document more and more. If there are holes to poke into, then we will. So over to you, Don.
So we have a few comments of there. Additional comment. We have Paul Head. We have Nyakemori Child asema family promise. I think he meant a false promise. Yeah, we have Wisi Kim Nyakweba anasema, why are you annoyed? Don't use us as shock absorbers. And then we have Paul Ed Henry anasema, hi Ninjel, umesalimiwa na fan hapo.
Hey.
Yeah, so according to me, I think I don't know how to respond to President Ruto's response, because by him saying that he wants PR, and they explain for him telling Raila to explain how the oil is being stolen, and yet Raila has told Kenyan how. So it leaves people hapo kwa gap. You understand? It's like they are doing table tennis. Pass the ball.
It's called ping pong.
Yeah, ping pong. Yeah, the ping pong game. Yeah, but I understand sometimes kama hata ana kitu kusema maybe on his side. Yes, they are saying that he should a person is given the right to respond and maybe explain himself when he's being accused of doing something wrong. But you can say just the government should come out clear and explain people in clarity of what really is happening to Kenyans. And yesterday we still listen to President Ruto in his speech. He's saying that currently the international markets are buying, as in Kenya is buying oil from the international markets at at Kenya shillings. We don't know how true is that. I think if we'll have one of maybe the business experts, we'll host one of them soon, so that he explains those issues, now those business issues to Kenyans well. Then on that we still had Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta responding to President Ruto on matters to stop blaming him for everything that he does. like that he did, like for everything or for every failure that is happening right now in the government. We have seen the way we've said issue na JKIA hapo leakage Ruto.
Well, so Uhuru takes swipe at Ruto government in rare speech. It's been a while, like I said. It's been a while ever since President Ruto responded to the backlash that he's been receiving from the government. And yesterday he was at a fundraiser. So he decided to hold nothing back. So he revealed that actually he had received threats and blames for the failures of the current government despite not playing any part in formulating its policies. Actually, Uhuru was not part of this current government in formulating its policies.
Yeah.
So let us also not forget that the current president of this country, President William Ruto, was the deputy president of Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yeah.
I'm still yet to find out what was that thing that made them fall out so badly that there is so much backlash, there is so much clapback, there is so much hate between the two. So well, he said that please leave my name out of your mouths. I'm no longer the president. I served my term for 10 good years. And he told the people that please just put me away from your blame games. And according to me, he was very keen. There's something that he said. He told the Kenyan people, especially there in Mwingi, not to allow politics to divide them. So everyone has an opportunity to contribute to the growth of the nation.
True.
And end poverty. So every Kenyan has an opportunity. So we are in positions that we are in. And, you know, God has given us those positions, not for ourselves, but to serve others. So I think the main take that I'll say from what Uhuru said, we should not let this politics divide us. We should just come together, whether you're from UDA, whether you're from Azimio, Wiper, let us just focus on putting this country back to where it was. Let us restore the lost glory that Kenya had. Let us stabilize the economy. Let each and every person do his part. But then again, when it matters to do with the backlash between Ruto and President Uhuru, leave me out of this. He said, leave me out. I'm no longer the government. Grapple with the issues and do what is required.
Yeah, we have a comment from Gilbert Odek anasema many taxes, and then anasema Mr. Promise, and then he's saying stop lies, stop lying to Kenyans. So I think we can listen into Uhuru's speech and then we'll proceed.
Mimi nimekuja siku ya ndugu Steve ambaye aliniambia ya kwamba tumekuwa tukipanga for a while ya kwamba angependa tuje pamoja. Alikuwa mwanzilishi wa hili kanisa na nikasema mimi niko tayari kuja sasa, tusukume pamoja na yeye, marafiki hawa wetu wote ambao wamefika na wengine ambao wametutuma, tuungane na wananchi wa Mwingi kuona ya kumsifu Mungu wetu. Kanisa kubwa na safi. Ningependa architect hatari takuja kutujengea huko Katutu pia, hata huko tuwe na nyumba kama hii. Na sisi tujigambe huko pia. Vile Bishop amesema, hii sio safari yangu ya kwanza kuja katika hii kiwanja ya kanisa kwa shughuli tofauti, na wakanialika ile kanisa ingine pale na tukakuja baada ya shughuli tulikuwa naye Uhuru, kwa sababu maombi yalifika na tukafanikiwa na yale ambayo tulikuwa tunaombea. Asante sana. Kwa hiyo mengi yamesema, mimi sitaki niongee mengi ya maneno. Na nimesikiza kwamba upande ambapo mimi nasimamia, mimi naambianga watu mimi ni mwana Azimio, na hapo mimi sio mtapeli wa wazee ambao walitufundisha siasa. Kuwa mtu ambaye anaweza kuaminika leo na kesho, sio mtu wa kuyumba namna hii. Hiyo future for pahali tu. Bishop umeomba hapa sasa, mimi nataka kuhakikisha kwamba yale ambayo aliniomba inaenda. So muendelee who knows, only God knows, and it is God, and that is why give thanks and to join together with you to do his good work, to do his great work. Langu ni kuuliza kama Wakenya, kwa sababu huo msimamo wangu haujabadilika. Tuendelee kuwa pamoja. Tusikubali siasa ya kutugawanya kwa misingi ya kikabila, kwa misingi ya tajiri sijui na maskini. Kila mmoja wetu ako na jukumu ya kujenga taifa la Kenya. Kila mmoja wetu ako na pahali ambapo anaweza kucontribute kuhakikisha ya kwamba nchi yetu imekuwa, tumepambana na umaskini, nchi yetu iko na amani. Na umoja wa nchi unatokana na umoja wa viongozi. Tusiwe watu ambao tutapata shida ya mwananchi ambaye unaongoza. We should truly become, and if we are, we should be united. There is no reason for us to be united. Of servant leadership, that we are in the positions that we are in, and God has given us those positions, not for ourselves, but for what in negative politics, but rather politics that will uplift the children of God. God has given you that opportunity to lead, to be of use to your fellow citizen, to your fellow human being. And you mimi sitaki ninene mengi. Sitaki. Tumetishwa, tumeambiwa nini, tumeambiwa sijui nini. Kila saa mtu akishindwa njia ya kufanya kitu yake, sasa kesho yake mtasema hata watoto wakikataa ama mama akikataa kuzaa, najua Uhuru. Sasa mimi sijui, lakini tumezoea tu, tunayasikia inaingia na inapita na tunaendelea. Ama ni namna gani? Tangu ni kuwaombea amani. Hiyo ndio hamu yangu kubwa sana. Tufanye kazi ya kutoa kila mtu shilingi yake, ndugu yake, yote itasaidia kuhakikisha ya kwamba
from Uhuru's address, I am not a con man. I am a member of Azimio. Mimi si mtu wa kuyumba. Let's have peace. Let's continue praying for the country. Those are some of the sentiments that you're getting from Uhuru Kenyatta. And you could see that he was just laughing there when he was talking about how the Kwanza government was, clapping back at him and, blaming him for almost all the wars that they are facing. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's interesting to see. It was also interesting and refreshing to see Uhuru speaking on the issues that are happening in the country. He also reiterated that he has received a lot of threats from the other side, and well, he's not scared. He just said he's not scared well, he's a Kenyan and he has his right, and he did his job last 10 years, and right now he's a private citizen. He's a high profile private citizen, the former president. And what he said, like I said, let us continue working and build this nation so that it will benefit those who are coming after us.
Yeah. So I think we'll come to the end of today's show. For those who have commented, those who have kept us company up to this far, we thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gilbert Odeke, for your comment. Paul Ed Henry, asante sana. Wisi Kim Nyakweba, asante sana. Nyakemori Charles, Lame Kimaru, na tuko na Jared Ayera, Karaoke Karanja, and Douglas Masinde, Magkosi, Silas Muhumu. Thank you very much for your comments. If you are watching us on Facebook and you are not our followers, you can please follow us, Lightcast TV Kenya. You can share our content, our daily posts on politics and breaking news, and you can also run to YouTube pale kwa YouTube hapo, subscribe, and you can also give us a thumbs up for this video to reach many people across the globe. Yeah, thank you very much for supporting Lightcast TV Kenya. I've been your host, Don Martin Tryon.
This is Ninjal Kolek.
Yeah, so see you next day or tomorrow, Tuesday, the 21st of November.
Thank you for watching. Keep it Lightcast TV.